essential to life, it is morally imperative that it not be commodified as a product to be bought and sold on the market. Once this happens, water distribution itself becomes a matter of life and death. Those who have the ability to pay can access the source of life, and those who don't are denied this access. It just so happens that yesterday, Jean Gomeshi, you guys know Jean Gomeshi, his show on CBC Radio, Q with Jean Gomeshi, he actually brought up the issue of the bottled water industry. And that was in fact what I was going to talk about. The chairman and CEO of Nestle actually believes that water is not a fundamental right. He actually believes that water is not a fundamental right and it should actually have a monetary value and that it should be privatized. Which means that you and I should not have access to water unless we pay for it.
It also means we shouldn't be buying any Nestle products.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what is happening around the world is that companies like Nestle, companies like Coca-Cola, companies like Pepsi-Cola are actually buying land around the world and taking water from communities. This is also happening in BC, where Nestle is taking water free of charge from BC, putting it in water bottles, and selling it back to us for a profit. Shame!
Shame!
I do not understand how...
That's the problem. They have none.
They have no shame.
No.
So the fact of the matter is that at all costs, please avoid bottled water. There is no point in buying bottled water. But what we don't realize is that the tar sands and the fracking is also helping the bottled water industry. How? We actually, to make plastic, you actually have to take gas, petroleum, out of the earth and to create plastic, to create these water bottles. In 2010, the amount of oil that was used to produce these bottles is the equivalent of putting 1 million cars on the road. That is absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. So why are we doing this? Why are we destroying the earth? Why are we destroying northern Alberta? Why are we destroying southern Manitoba with fracking? Just so then we can put water into plastic bottles. If we don't recycle our water bottles, for example, in the United States, there are 38 billion water bottles that are thrown out, that are not recycled, and that are the equivalent, it is the equivalent of $1 billion worth of plastic. And this is going in our oceans, this is going in our landfills. Basically, we are throwing money away.
Ouch.
Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
$1 billion worth of education programming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly. So my message to you simply is avoid Nestle products, avoid Coca-Cola products, avoid Pepsi-Cola products, etc.
Is there anything that we can buy?
You know what? Use the little that we pay for our tap water. Pardon? Okay.
Buy a carbonator and make your own pop.
Absolutely.
Out of the water that comes from Shoal Lake.
Buy a reusable water bottle.
And demand that the city puts in more water fountains.
Why is
It
there
is crazy that there's no water fountains in this park.
Exactly.
Right? So we know in the public buildings, I work in a public building that has water fountains, and we know how important that resource is to people because people are coming in all the time to use it because it's one of the few places in the city that you can access water, safe drinking water for free. Right? And there are spots around town and people that are dependent or on accessing water in public spaces, people that don't have stable housing. They know where these spots are, but there's not nearly enough of them. And especially, this is a perfect example of Memorial Park, right?
I don't understand
the number of people that gather in this space, right, and that the city wants to have gather in this space because they've got city biz sanctioned events going on here, in addition to, you know, the important ones. And there's no water fountain. Right?
And there used to be.
So this is one of those things where it's just stripping money out of the public sector and to create services for the public good and dumping it into all of the examples of the private sector that Janelle's been talking about.
See, removing the